Well, today we have Karan Kangralkar.
Thank you. After which I was working with one of the multinational Italian scooter brands in India.
What does an engineer have to offer?
As an engineer, you develop a lot of discipline and analytical skills, and this can be converted into problem-solving skills later on in the business.
How an engineer evolves into the managerial tasks?
Being part of so many different teams is one of the key aspects. You do not change from an engineer into a managerial position immediately. It's more of a learning process.
Welcome to another episode of Decision Deluxe. Here we have conversations about different topics, academic topics related with science, politics, and business. I want to remind you how you can get in touch with us through the website Decision Deluxe or Decisión de Lujo in Spanish, and you can follow me at Dr. Gustavo Adolfo in Twitter and with the hashtag Decisión de Lujo in Spanish. Well, today we have Karan Kangralkar.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, very welcome. Can you tell us something about you, Karan? What's your background? What are your studies? What's your work experience?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm from India, and I did my mechanical engineering in India itself. After which I was working with one of the multinational Italian scooter brands in India. And I was working with the after-sales department, gathering technical feedbacks and technical like the product performance of the product in the market, which was really interesting, I should say.
Right.
And after that, I started my master's in logistics and supply chain management in Lancaster University.
Wow.
And that's what I'm doing right now as well.
Perfect. I want to ask you something. What does an engineer have to offer for businesses or companies?
All right, that's a really interesting question. Well, as an engineer, I think as an engineer you develop a lot of discipline and analytical skills, and this can be converted into problem-solving skills later on in the business. So I believe that is a very important aspect of an engineer in a business. Apart from that, as a supply chain specialist, I think there's a supply chain, there's an internal and an external supply chain in a business as well. So understanding the entire process and then having that engineering background and improving the entire process is a very good blend, I think.
Well, I want to ask you something. What happened when you were working in this organization, in this company about the Italian scooters? Because what I want to know is how did you combine this knowledge about the engineer background with this other part about the processes and the supply and change management?
All right. Okay. Well, as an engineer, again, I would say that we are very focused and we are very result-driven individuals. But once you put us in a very different background of business, it changes a lot. And I think you do not change from an engineer into a managerial position immediately. It's more of a learning process.
Wow.
That's what happened with me as well. I think the key over here was, in my experience, I was part of many teams in the business.
Right.
I was part of teams interacting with the top management, and I was part of teams which were interacting with the end customer itself. So I had a wide range of age differences or differentiating people, where I was talking to, interacting with, and sometimes leading them as well. So I think in this process, I would consider just interactions and engaging people.
Here we go with this. How an engineer evolves into the managerial tasks. This is very interesting because we have this kind of cliché sometimes about the the engineers. We don't know if they are really good on having social skills.
Yeah.
But tell us something about this evolution.
Well, like I said again, these being part of so many different teams is one of the key aspects, because when I was working, I was handling customers as well, and Indian customers, they can get really annoying sometimes.
I don't know that.
Well, you should come to India and then see for yourself, I guess. Well, that was part of one side of the interaction. The other part was interacting with the top management, which was a different experience altogether. Combining those two and finding a balance between them was something that I had to learn all by myself. And I believe, I think I would speak to all engineers outside, I think finding that balance is really important, where you really have to start interacting with the different people and different sizes of the business perspective, or different levels of the business. So I think that is a good start, probably, to start the evolution process, like you said.
And when you were having this experience, did you notice did you realize how important it is to forecast? Probably, right? For the business. Could you tell us something about that?
Yes, that's currently that's something that I'm working on with another company.
All right.
What I'm doing is there's a planning side and there's a forecasting side to a business. Many businesses are part of planning, but many businesses are now coming into the forecasting part of it.
Right.
But the problem is that there is no link between planning and forecasting, and that is something that I'm researching upon. Wherein planning is something more of an operational, there's an operational perspective, whereas forecasting is more of a strategic perspective. So that is something that is really interesting, and trying to find a link between these two fields. And probably there are many scopes and many rooms of improvement probably in this field. So that's what I'm researching upon right now.
Yeah, well, it says that it's a key part for each organization, because if you are not trying to understand what is going to happen in the future, you just can't have a real plan, and you will mislead absolutely what you are doing in the day by day.
Exactly.
Right? Did you find some challenges when you were working with this company for the scooters? Because I'm imagining that probably the product has to be also, tropicalized.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know, the roads in Italy will be different, and the customers will be different as well. So what happened in the engineering level of the scooters?
Well, I think when the scooters were designed, they were designed for the Indian market, but the company had probably a different perspective of the Indian market, and so I think during the first few years when it started, we did have some teething problems, but it's more about evolving and understanding the market rather than having some perspective and then sticking by what you have right now. So
forecasting.
Yeah, so there's some element of forecasting. I mean, you can forecast problems as well. So
yeah, sure. Thank you very much for your time, guys. But before we go, I would like to ask Karan, how can we get in touch with you? How can we deliver some comments? How can find you in the internet?
Yeah, sure. You can find my LinkedIn page, and it's right there. It's uk.linkedin.com/in/Karan Kangralkar. Just send me a message and I'll be happy to reply.
Yeah, the same for us. Remember to follow us at Gustavo Adolfo, and you can watch this video again in the website decisiondelujo.com in Spanish, or in English decisiondeluxe.com. Remember also to use the hashtag in Twitter, decisiondelujo in Spanish. Well, thank you very much, guys, and we will see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You speak a bit louder. It's also okay.
What is happening with my shirt?
I don't know. You just didn't iron it. That's it.
Don't worry. It's okay.
All right.
Welcome to another decision. Welcome to another.
Alright, just a second.
This is starting to get bad.
Can you I just need a picture. Can you just take a photo?
Here we have Karan.
Karan Kangralkar.